Oh, wait, it's like not hot as balls in you. I sound like I'm going through puberty. I want to talk about how going to a Catholic school sent me into religious psychosis. That's the title. I really just want to talk about my fear of intimacy. I made a video once, like, on TikTok. First mistake. And I said how, like, what was I even doing? I was, like, making fun of people who are always like, I've been boy sober for 21 years. And then I was like, shut up! Everyone, I got, like, half people were so, like, did want me, like, on my deathbed. And, like, half were like, no, you're right. And, you know, I love a middle ground. I got a comment today, like literally 20 seconds ago, that was like, my bad for wanting to experience love and intimacy and like wanting to like feel wanted. And I was like, y'all think I'm making this? Like, I haven't experienced that either. Oops. I wasn't making that from a point of view of like, ha, get laid. I am the boy sober. That term is so stupid. When I talk with my friends, we literally like will rehash the same things over and over. And like one random thing will spark something that happened like 2 years ago. I went to a Catholic school my whole life. There was like a brief period where my parents sent me to a public school for literally a semester and then took me out because they were like, no. I think that is such a niche experience in the way of like, we all are never gonna be okay. I'm Kenyan, so American Catholicism and African Catholicism is so different, and I learned that every day, and it would always be so jarring when I was younger, when I would literally go home and tell my mom, like, literally how I had a retreat about chastity, and my mom literally goes, what is that? And I live in the Midwest, so it's just even better. For most of my life, I would go to church, and it would just be me and my mom and my brother, and we were the only people there that were not white. And like the one Filipino family in the back. It really skewed my concept of religion. And then like when I got to high school, I went to a Catholic high school. It was very, very, very like your fearmongery. I was the type of person who took all of the things I learned, internalized it, and anytime I ever stepped out of line, oh, the leaves are falling, I would go into panic, and that's how I was diagnosed with anxiety.
Cocky as fuck.
I would literally hyperventilate. I would tally in my head like how many times I sinned from the last time I went to confession, and like cry about it. My way of thinking was so warped of like just the fear of going to hell. I would even be like, I'd be watching Sam and Colby videos and being, oh my god, like, I'm gonna have to say this in confession, like, oh my god. I vividly remember having a conversation with one of my friends once in the basement of her house. She had a lit basement, by the way. Was the first one out of us to start dating and doing stuff with her boyfriend. We were just sitting in a circle, and I literally go, like, do you feel guilt? I literally look at her in the eye, I'm like, do you feel guilt? She was like, yeah, like the first time like we did anything, I like cried myself to sleep. And I was like, oh my god, that's not normal. That's not. Every year at my high school we had a retreat. Every year the retreat had a theme. And during the second year we had the theme of chastity, sex, I remember, god damn it, I don't know where it is. We like had to sign we signed a card, and it was literally like a card that said like, I, fill in your name, blank, vow to never be intimate with my partner until marriage, and then sign the date. And then they told us to keep it until like we get married. And I kept that in my wallet. As I got closer like to the end of high school, COVID happened like in smack dab in the middle of like my sophomore year. So but my school made us go to school. We didn't have to like follow the like protocols because it was like not funded by the state. And so yeah, I went to school during like that period where people were online. Like I had to go to school. So cool. It was like my junior year, and I was in my homeroom class, and my homeroom class was also the morality teacher, and she proceeded to spend an entire class period, and I had her during like that lunch block, so I was in there for 2 hours. We were talking about gay tendencies. Yes, I'm in the back of the class. Like, she was telling us about like how her and her niece were so close, and they had like she loved her, she cherished her, like all these things. And I was like, oh my god, like she loves her niece, like they're so close. And she told us how like she got married and she didn't go. And I'm sitting here like, damn, like why didn't she go? She didn't agree with her lifestyle and she was marrying a woman. Word. What? I just remember leaving that class, literally going in, like staring at my locker like, what was the general topic I was talking about? Oh, but onto fear of intimacy and how this led to that. Yeah, I just thought I was gonna go to hell. Like, for example, in my room, I had like in my room, the light switch was like so far from my bed. If I did not like flicker it like three times specifically every night before I went to bed, I would go to hell. So it infiltrated every single part of my life, and when it got to like hooking up with people like those, I genuinely every time would like go to bed like fearing, I'm like, oh my god, are all my friends going to go to hell because they are doing the devil's dance? Oh my god. The big one, the senior year retreat, that was genuinely, I moved, and so I'm going through all my stuff, and I had boxes, and in my box I had this like folder, or not like folder, but like bag of like letters, and I was like on some Laura Jean Covey shit, like what are these letters? I read them, and they were from my senior year retreat, sent from hell. And you're not forced, this is the one retreat you're not forced to go on, but if you don't go on it, you low-key get shunned, and everyone's like, no, why didn't you go? When we go on this retreat, it is 4 days. You can't have your phone. You're not allowed to know the time because you're on God's time. Word. And it was in the middle of nowhere, like an hour and a half away from like where we lived, or like where our school was. And it was in like a abandoned seminary where we slept. Like it used to be a seminary, so like priests slept there. It was really, yeah, they basically like peer pressure you into like telling your like life's worst traumas like in front of everybody. Have you ever been like broken down like to your like lowest point, and you're like at rock bottom, and so you're just like, I have nothing to lose, and so you just like open your heart out? That was like the method. Like you got so like sad, and then you were so vulnerable, and then you open up to your small group, and then after they're like, okay, now that you open up to us, open up to everybody. Mind you, people in the small group are like, yeah, like I tried to kill myself last year. Oh, you want me to say this in front of everybody? What the fuck? You know, I was talking about intimacy issues. How the fuck? I don't know if I'll ever actually like be free from it. I'm so dead ass. Even though like I've grown a lot, and I think I've unlearned a lot of things, because I had to like stare at a wall and like reteach myself like how normal life in society works. Religious or not, you should not be like scaring people, fear-mongering into people. Yeah, no. Fear-mongering people into groupthink. And then like it also, being in that environment led me to think a lot of people of that religion were racist, because a lot of people were, which is not true, and it's not fair. It's like, be like, oh, like all Christians are racist, all Christians are homophobic, this, that, and the third, because that's not true. But being in a Catholic school, in like a concentrated environment in like the South or the Midwest, you're gonna think like, damn, like the whole team hates me. If the people who I swear to God get down the most go to a Christian school or like a Catholic, like everybody was fucking. We didn't even get sex ed because you're not supposed to have sex. Will I ever be freed from this hell? Man, I don't know. I think, okay, no, let me be for real. Like, I think I've done a lot of internal work. Making friends who grew up in a completely different environment and grew up not religious at all even, and telling them this experience and like how I view things because of this, and having them be like, okay, now like say that again, rewind, turbo. One time, my religion teacher in like 7th grade told me, like, if you lie 180 degrees next to a boy, that is technically a sin, because you are suggesting that you want to do other things because you are laying horizontally. I'm not kidding, those were the words she used. She said 180 degrees, and I literally am just like, yo, like, did you hear about what Logan Paul did in that forest? This is me refusing to write in my journal because it's not working anymore. I'm on that grind, that type of grind that makes you asexual. So don't even worry about it, guys. Like, my friend posted that today, and I literally started wheezing. You can follow me on Instagram if you want. Yeah, if you want. I also have a TikTok. You don't have to check that out, though. Honestly, don't. And I will see you next week. Bye! Oh my god. Also, no one told me that when you get a septum and you have a runny nose, it's actually the worst thing ever. Yeah.